Hey guys, my name is Aiden, and I've been climbing for 10 months. Today, I'm at the Gravity Vault in Hoboken, and I'm going to try and flash the new set. I try climbs ranging from V0 to V7. What grade do you think I'll be able to flash up to? I start with this black V0. All of the holds are jugs, but it felt awkward coming from the cave up to the slabby section. I move on to this red V1. It felt a lot easier than the V0. I move on to this green V2. I skip a couple of holds at the beginning, which kind of ruins the intended sequence. Instead, I have to do two big crossovers. The big foothold is super slopey, and I slip, so I decide to just use the jug instead. I move on to this yellow V3. It starts on crimpy jugs. There are a couple of pinches, and it finishes on a good hold. The sequence is important here because I don't want to have to hand swap on the first pinch. It does make the first holds feel a little worse though. I move on to this pink V4. It starts on a tiny nub. Then, there are these big thin pinches. And you finish by matching on a tiny hold. I start facing the wall. It hurt my lower back to bend and fit in the corner. It might have been better to start sideways. I reach behind me and grab the pinch blindly. I get a high left foot and make a big move to the next pinch. I mantle with my right hand and get a high right foot. I stand up and try to flag my left foot out for the match, but the hold is in my way. I bicycle the foothold and try to bring my left hand over. The position feels unstable with my arm pushing my face and chest away from the wall. This time, I just commit to it. I send it, but I want to try different beta for the finish. I get a left heel hook. It turns out this position works too. I move on to this orange V5. It starts with a move to an undercling sloper. The rest of the holds are pinches. The first move is interesting. I lock off my right arm to reach the undercling. Then, I mantle off the right hand and push up with my left hand to secure the position. The first pinch is very good. The next hold is pretty slopey and too wide to pinch. I get a right heel hook, but the next hold seems too far to reach. I bring my feet back down and just jump for the next hold. I land the move and get my feet up. When I let go of the left hold, it becomes really difficult to hold onto the big slopey pinches. The end feels super physical. I get one hand on the finish hold and try to get to the foothold on the right. I don't feel quite flexible or tall enough from this position, so I try something else. I switch my right hand to a Gaston and jam my head into the hold. It's scary because I could fall face first onto the blue hold beneath me. Luckily, I'm able to get the match. I move on to this blue V6. It starts on a big jug. Then you go to a dual tech sloper. There's another jug, and then a small in-cut crimp and a slopey dish for your feet. You finish by matching on a tiny jug. The move to the first sloper isn't bad. I have to push through my fingertips because my palm is on the dual techs. I get my right foot on the start hold and stand up to the jug. I try to get my left foot up, but slip on the dual techs. I can just barely get the edge of my feet onto the good part. The position really tests your flexibility, and I started cramping up. I push against the wall with my right hand to get my foot up. I push my right foot against the wall to match on the jug. I lean over and grab the crimp. I swap feet and then get confused about what to do next. I read it as a dynamic move with my left hand, but I wonder if you can foot swap on the dish and get it statically with the right hand. I go for the dynamic method, but just miss the hold. This time, I hit the hold, but let go of my right hand. This time, I get the move. I swap feet, and I'm able to match. Unfortunately, I don't get to flash the V6. It was actually pretty soft, too. I think it was tricky to read, but pretty intuitive once you got on the wall. It feels like it requires some flexibility, though. I move on to this gray V6 Plus. The first section is all crimps. On the upper part of the wall, pulls get a little bigger. I think the plus grades are the hardest climbs in this gym. The crimp on the left is pretty bad. It's tiny and slightly in-cut, but it's facing the wrong direction. It's hard to get your elbow to the left for the Gaston to feel better. I think the beta is to lock off the Gaston and cross over with your right hand, but I don't feel like I can generate the tension. I try to bump the left hand and see if I can get my right hand on the lower crimp. I feel super stretched out and can only get my fingertips on the next hold. I move on to this purple V7. It has these holds with a decent edge that's a little crimpy and slopey. You start by traversing right. Then, you go straight up to a tiny pinch and finish on the top edge. This crossover move feels terrible, because neither hold is good in this position. The next hand hold is so far away, I think about going for the foot hold. I try committing to the next hold, but my left hand slips. I try flipping my right hand to push against the hold so I can get a high left foot, but it doesn't work. I try using the foothold on the right and get the high left foot. I miss the next move, but it feels doable. This time, I get the next hold. It feels best to pinch it between my index finger and the thumb because I'm too low to use it as an undercling. The next hold feels a lot better. The right one feels better too. I try to get a foot up, but it feels really high. This time, I try turning my right hip into the wall to get the high foot. I turn the right hand into a mantle and stand up. I'm not sure what to do with my left foot, so I just go for the pinch and miss. I try to foot swap, but end up falling. I decide to foot swap on the lower hold. Then, I can get my left foot up. After I mantle and stand up, I get my right foot up. I'm able to reach for the pinch statically. Then, I can reach the top edge easily. Time to try from the beginning. I mess up by turning my hip in when it needs to be square. At this point, I realize that I never figured out how to get to the foothold on the right. I try the high foot beta again, but it doesn't work. I even get the high foot, but it pushes me away from the wall. The gym is about to close, so I'll have to come back and figure out the move. Overall, the climb seems soft. Definitely easier than the Gray V6 Plus. I think I'll get it next session. But for now, I was able to flash up to V5, which I'm pretty proud of. Now, I'll talk about my hangboarding. I try to hang with 47.5 pounds on the 20mm edge for 10 seconds. I tried to do that way for 5 sets, but failed on my 3rd set. Next session, I'll come back and try 47.5 pounds again. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!